Hi everyone, it's Amanda. How are you doing? Today is the 15th of July 2019 and we are going into another very powerful week. So I hope you still got your seatbelts on. I certainly have. And we will see what guidance comes through in this recording. I've got quite a lot that I want to be mentioning, and so I'm going to be looking down. I've got a few little notes here. First thing to say, let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. I intend to do a live stream on the 16th of July, which is the full moon in Capricorn and the partial lunar eclipse. So I think it might, well, it's the 16th, 17th, dependent on where you are around the world, but I'm going to be going live on the 16th. So I'm not quite sure what time yet. It's difficult to know because you're all in different places around the world. I might actually do it in the morning here, which is not going to be as great for some people in America, I realise that, but we'll probably get some of the Australians in and we'll get Europeans in, and equally I might be a little bit more on the ball because I tend to be more of a morning person in terms of my work. Anyway, that is for later on in the week. Right now we're going to do a catch up and we're going to see what's been going on. Mad week last week. If you're not on my Facebook page, which is called Angelic Celestial Colours, I will leave the link in the box below. You're probably missing out because I do little mini videos there. I think I did about 3 last week, which I didn't necessarily put up to YouTube. My last one was a little bit of a cry for help because I'd just hit the bottom of the barrel actually with regard to things just being really difficult, and I'm feeling a little bit better since then. I actually had a healing, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because something very profound came up in that healing, which actually made me have to really question some of my understandings about the way that the world is and how we incarnate and what can happen. So as I'm talking about it, let's just dive into that, and because it's a very interesting story, and I think it's something that we could do some work on together in terms of maybe bringing through. I'd maybe like to bring through some sort of meditation to help other people. So yeah, those of you that saw that video that I did on, I think it was maybe Thursday of last week, I had hit a brick wall professionally actually with regard to a couple of different projects on the go at the moment. And I know that, yeah, Mercury is retrograde, and thank you Steve Judd, yes, he said it's hitting my chart big time. So I'm getting it maybe even more than a lot of other people at the moment, but even so, it was just one of those moments where you think, this is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. How are you expecting me to do this work with all of these challenges which are constant the whole time? Well, we know, of course, that it's not meant to be easy if you sign up for a path where, you know, you're here to learn a lot. So I got over that reasonably quickly. Thank you for your love and support. It was interesting because after I talked about literally hammering on the door to Spirit to say, give me a break, but also give us a break. We need some assistance here. It's bloody difficult down here on planet Earth at the moment. We need your help. I said on Facebook that I got into the car and there were a couple of songs that came up. One was Rapture by Blondie. The other one was, what was it? Pride in the Name of Love, which to me has always been a song that I linked to Christ, whether or not it was intended or not. In terms of him, I don't know, but one man comes in the name of love. And then I had a bit of Dionne Warwick, which was like a nod to the Heart Squad, but I also knew that it was Christ that had actually answered the call and that had heard the cry for help. Roll forward a couple of days and I had this healing that had been planned, you know, for months, and we always know there's a divine timing to anything that you receive. And what effectively happened, which I am still getting my head around, is that I was shown that I had been carrying an energy within me my whole life In fact, it had been an energy which was alien in nature, that seeked to prevent me from fully stepping into my power and doing my work. And it was in my solar plexus, very well hidden, because they are very clever and manipulative energies. And this was something that had been with me before as I was coming down to incarnate. So, and this was the bit that I was excited about learning about, because it was like a new piece of information. I hadn't really thought in that way before. I suppose I'd always thought, well, okay, the soul signs up to come into the family it drops into the body. Whether you believe the soul comes in at the moment of conception, whether you believe the soul comes in at the moment of birth, there are different theories on that. We don't need to get too bogged down on it. But I suppose I'd just seen a very smooth transit for the soul to come down into the body. And then obviously be born and do its job, have its mission. And what was shown to me, and this is probably true for many of us, particularly those of us that are asked to lead, is that as you come down as pure light from God, effectively, and in my case I came down with a mission, which was to be a light worker, which was to be a teacher, which was to do the job that I'm doing now. As you travel down through all the astral fields, the lower you get and the closer you get to Earth, you get further removed from that pure white light, God. And as you get closer to Earth, it starts to get what Metatron is calling a little bit murky. It's a bit like, he's showing me, it can be a bit like, on a bad day, he's saying, on a bad day, it can be a bit foggy. On a good day, maybe, it isn't. And maybe this links into your astrological placements as well, quite interesting. But on the day that my soul sort of drops down, there was a little bit of collective fog around, but I came in as a light worker. And so what happens is, in that fog, hiding, can be energies that aren't always there for your best interests. And it, as I say, alien in nature, galactic if that makes it more palatable to you, but I'm going to use the word alien, latched onto the incoming light that was me coming in and thought, oh, okay, it's like gonna nobble her. We're gonna make it really hard for her to move forward. And that's what I'd found. That's what I was feeling the previous week. It was like, I have moved forward in life, always. And I think I've done very well to get to where I am now, but it's never been easy. It's never been easy. And it's like, no, you've been carrying this energy within you that came in as you dropped in, which was literally there to, I don't know if you understand the expression, nobble. Make it harder, basically, like kneecap you. It's like being kneecapped. It's like, we're going to make it really hard for you to do that role, because that role's important. And I hope this isn't sounding like ego, because I don't feel that I'm any particularly special person. There are lots of us that have got special gifts and talents, and this is why it's probably a universal thing. But it's being shown to me because I'm at the front of a tribe. We're a tribe here. And so it's like, oh, okay, that's what it is it? Anyway, this, let's just call it energy, galactic energy, alien energy, but not necessarily friendly, was removed. Again, doesn't have to be any complicated way that happens. It's like anything. Once the game's up and you're spotted, and it was only spotted through chance, actually, testing me on something else, it came up. It literally like hide and seek. It was like hide and seek. It's like, oh, hold on, something's not quite right there. What is that? What is that? It was asked to leave. And what was really interesting was, anybody that has healing work, what happens is it's an interaction between you, the healer, and God. It's like a triangle. Now, God can take the form of anything you want it to take the form of. If God has to be represented by an angel, it can be an angel. If God has to be represented by Reiki, it can be Reiki. If God has to be represented by something shamanic, it can be something shamanic. But it's that triangle. So with that triangle in place, God, the healer, me, together, once you know it's there, you can move it away. So we asked it to move away. And it did about 80%. And I was really aware that there was like a stubborn 20%, which was actually, it's like had come up here underneath my arm. It was like really frightened because its game was up, which wouldn't leave. And I suddenly realised this energy, even though it's not good, has got pride. It's got pride. It's stubborn and it's got pride. It doesn't want, it wants to leave on its own accord. And so we let it. And it did. It's completely gone now. I felt it go. I'm still in a 4-day processing from that. So I'm on day, what am I? I'm on day 3 at the moment. And by the eclipse, I will be hopefully firing on all cylinders. But I wanted to share the story with you because A, I thought it was interesting in terms of interference that can happen to the incoming soul that you have no idea is even there. Okay, why would you know? Why would I have known? Why would I have known? Because the only energy I have ever known my whole life is my own energy. If that energy has always had a component in it of something that was there to derail me, why would I not think that was part of me? It wasn't part of me. How amazing is that? It wasn't ever part of me. Anyway, a day passes. I then go to an amazing place. It was a National Trust property in the north of England. And this place was, I don't know, 15th century. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Really enjoyed looking around it. Went into the shop at the end, because I love the shop at the end. I always love the gift shop at the end. And I was buying a few little bits and pieces. And sorry, this message just come in. I was in the shop, and guess what comes on the radio? I mean, you're not gonna. Well, maybe you will guess if you've been listening to my work for a while. Even I could not believe it. This staid little old shop, run by, no disrespect, but ladies of a certain age. It was all very sort of English china, teacups and bits of fudge. David Bowie, Loving the Alien, comes on. Okay, and I'm paying for a mug or something. And I'm just like, oh my God, Loving the Alien, David Bowie. What have I just let go of? An alien type energy. Okay. And straight away I knew actually that song was really profound. And I'll tell you why. Nose goes when profound messages come through. Loving the Alien. It's a bit like fallen angels. There are angels that are fallen. It's the same of galactic beings. You can have fallen galactic energies and you can have fallen angelic energies. Ultimately, what they all want, really, is a climb back up to God, up to the light. They're fallen because they have forgotten their true essence. They've gone off track. And so you have to love the fallen parts just as much as the parts of the Godhead. This is when the story gets even weirder. Then I get into the car. And we've got, I've got the map on my phone. I'm trying to work out how to get to wherever we're going. And so I put Bluetooth on. And usually it just comes up with, the directions to where you're going. For some reason, even though I'm not playing any music on my phone, and in fact I kept switching it off, and it kept coming back on and playing on the playing through my husband's stereo. A song comes on, and it's Coldplay, Adventures of a Lifetime, or Adventure of a Lifetime. He hates the song. I love the song. He hates it. He's like, wow, why is this song coming on the whole time? I said, I was like, this is 3D versus 5D. I'm like, oh, it's a sign from spirit. It's a sign from spirit. He's like, oh, I just don't like it. Turn it off. Do you know what the words are to Coldplay's Adventure of a Lifetime? Okay, something like this. I'm not going to sing it. Can't sing it like he does. You make me feel that I'm alive again. Adventure of a lifetime. You make me feel that I'm alive again. that was a message from that, whatever that had been within me since before I even incarnated, which has now gone. And actually I felt almost like a grief when it had gone, strangely, the next day. But equally, that energy, because that's all it is, whether it's good, bad or indifferent, had taken the ride of a lifetime, okay? I.e. inside me or inside you as an incoming light worker, oh, that energy looks good, that looks nice. But actually I'm programmed to go in there and try and derail that, you know? That's who I answer to. That's my, that's what I'm meant to do. But yet, once in there, within that soul, which actually, you know, I'm a good person, I am filled with light, it's like, actually, this feels quite nice. This feels quite nice. But yet, I'm programmed to, when it all starts to get a bit much or when real challenges come up, then I must do the job of trying to derail. That's what I'm programmed to do. But yeah, actually, it's a bit of a ride of a lifetime. So I'm quite enjoying it. You make me feel that I'm alive again. Because that's what darkness, that's what, I don't even want to call it darkness, fear, that's what it is. It's a fear energy. That's what fear does. Fear wants to feel, doesn't want to feel fear. It wants to feel alive again. You make me feel that I'm alive again. So actually, I sent forgiveness and thanks out to that energy that had come in and tried to actually corrupt my light codes before I was even born. And this all happened way before moment of birth, way before maybe even I was within my mother's womb. It was that stage that before you drop in. That's what we need to start cleaning and cleansing. And I believe we can do it quite easily with light. Okay, I believe we can do it quite easily with light. What I don't want anybody to do is go into fear in terms of, oh my God, I've got something within me. You know, there was no moment that I ever felt, as soon as I became aware that this was something that was within me last week, there was no moment where I felt any fear at all. If I felt anything, maybe a bit of compassion. Oh, you tried to do that, did you? Oh, okay. Well, it was never going to succeed, because ultimately when the biggest leap of my life is coming, because I feel that, it's like, you're always going to be found out, mate. Why did Metatron allow that? Because it was a lesson for me. I'm here talking to you about it. How do we learn anything unless we've got something, unless we've got something to learn from? It's perfect. It's light versus dark. It's Metatron. And it's very much about love, all of the bits. I actually, okay, what he's saying to me here is, he's saying as light workers, this is going to make you laugh. This is going to make you laugh, guys. Because it's like, haven't we got a big enough job on our hands already, Metatron? Cleaning up the earth? Well, yes, he's saying you have. But equally, you've got a job to help clear up the astral. My response to that straight would be, well, hold on, why do we have to do that? You know, can't they do that? You know, whoever they are up there, can't they do that? As above, so below. True healing has to come from above and below. Okay, thank you. He's saying in the same way that we as a collective term, we are helping to clean up the earth. So you think about energy coming down to help clean up the earth. He's saying also energy coming up from the earth can clean the field above. So, interesting, eh? The other thing that was interesting was that when this energy was leaving, I kept getting 333 in my head. And I said to the people in the room, I said, is it 333? And she said, no, it's about 342, but probably we started doing this at 333. So again, it was like a nod to hammering on the door for help. Why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? Everything. Christ opening the door. And do you know what Christ does? Christ welcomes back any energy, whether it be of love, whether it be of fear, whether it be of darkness. That's what's so beautiful about the Christ energy, and I'm sure many other energies. It's just my reference point. So I had to share that with you. It's quite a big message in itself, isn't it? And yeah, there's the link with Bowie. I just found that extraordinary, loving the alien. Why now? Because I'm about to start working with the galactics on a much bigger playing field. And like with the angels, which I'm very familiar with, I've always known there are angels that are fallen. There are beings that aren't actually what they think you think they are. So true of any realm. And before we get all freaked out in terms of, oh, well, how do I know? Start with Earth. I'm being serious there. Start with Earth. Are people who you think they are? Discernment, discernment, discernment. Heightened learning. Do you know, I had a comment in on my earthquake video, and I'm going to call this guy out. I'd answered him anyway, so you can see the responses I made, but I think it's really, really important because he said something along the lines of, oh, you're a light worker. You shouldn't be talking about things like earthquakes. You're stoking fear. You're a light worker. You shouldn't be doing that. And my response was, I think you've misunderstood what a light worker is. Light workers are here to bring light to what is challenging and difficult, and sometimes it's hard to get your head around it. Some of these things I'm talking about here, you might be thinking, oh, really? Because I thought that last week. Really? I've been nobbled before I've even come in? I wonder it's been so bloody hard. Made a lot of sense, actually, in retrospect. But I had to get my head around it. It wasn't immediate. So what is a light worker? A light worker is somebody who's willing to go and explore areas that aren't always palatable. Be that social things that are to happen, geological things that might be very challenging that are going on in our world now. He also linked it to money, of course, you know, that, oh, you're making money out of this. No, I don't make money out of videos on YouTube. I run a training school if anybody's interested. That's how I make my money. Not that it was any of his business anyway. And yeah, I'm sounding triggered here, but it's good to sometimes be triggered because it made me go deeper and it made me think about, no, hold on, what is a light worker? A light worker is somebody who's asked to shed light into the dark. And as my friend Steve says, Steve Judd, we did a video on this in terms of light and dark. Steve said something along the lines of, unless you can go into the dark, you can't go into the light. How perfect are his words coming back to me now? And it's what I absolutely believe. So the fact that I've been carrying probably my whole life an energy within me that was very fear-based and up to no good in terms of trying to derail me, not anybody else, trying to derail me. I've fought that my whole life, and I'm seeing the dragons now in my head as I say that. Well, the right dragon won, effectively, you know? It's like slaying the dragon. I'm seeing, in my mind, there is a most beautiful statue of, in St. Michael's Mount, of St. Michael slaying the dragon. Hear the seagulls? Some of you know what that is. Right, let's pull a card from my St. Michael deck that I've got here as I'm talking about that. And then I think actually the other stuff I'm going to say, I'm going to do in a separate video. I think it's probably enough for one video. Let's have a final card here. Archangel Michael. The energy of words. Words have powerful energy, use them wisely. To thine own self be true. Yeah, I get that. I get that. the power of words. Sort of what I want to say in the next video. Maybe they wanted me to do it in this one. Oh, I can never make a short video, you know me. Okay, what do you want me to say about that then? Let's just get the Archangel Michael spray. Hold on. I'm just going to close my door as well because someone's just come into the house. Hold on. Okay, Michael's saying it's safe for you to say what you have to say. The energy of words. There are situations already in our world, and these situations are only going to escalate over the coming decade, where as light workers we're going to be asked to talk about subjects that are challenging, as I'm talking already. And those words, when they're said with love, and they're said with the right intention, and they're said with wisdom, and they're said from the right place, are to be heard and are to be distributed. And what has to happen as well is that words have to go through a filter in terms of our inner mind and our outer verbal dialogue. That's basically what the card says. Okay. Not many people are doing that at the moment. There are a few subjects that I'd like to touch on in other videos soon, and some of them, to be honest, are to counter other energies that are online at the moment. I have particularly Princess Diana. Pretty much on my back right now. I didn't think I was going to do this now, but it seems like I need to do it now. Yeah, look, it is Archangel Michael, but we've also got the Moonstone. Diana's a Cancerian, ruled by the moon. Diana was the moon goddess. The energy of words. I want to say something about Meghan, or she wants me to say something about Meghan. I've been watching with growing horror, actually, at some of the stuff that is online and also in the newspapers with regard to Meghan Markle. Now, we could do a reading on Meghan, and it could come out that there maybe are issues with her. I don't know. Maybe there are. Even if there are, even if they're not happy, these are not my words. This is just speculation. Okay? The vitriol and the sheer hatred of her in some quarters of social media is just so horrendous. I had the misfortune last night to stumble on a video, a channel actually, and it's not a well-known channel. Well, I say it's not a well-known channel. This particular video had 50,000 views, and it had only gone up that week. It was when Meghan and Harry went to the polo match, and it was sort of like, you know, is it even a real baby? That type of thing. Is it a doll she's carrying? There are many things out there that people are saying about her, and I'm not backing any of them up, by the way. I'm coming on here to be in Diana's court, because what Diana wants me to say is back off. Back off, both of them. Because Earl Spencer, Diana's brother, when she was in the funeral, Earl Spencer said something along the lines of how ironic that Diana, the goddess of hunting, became the most hunted creature in our world. And effectively what he really wanted to say is, and you killed her. Well, roll forward a few decades, and her son, Harry, has chosen to marry this woman, lady, Meghan. Whether you like her or you dislike her, it's got nothing to do with it. She's still a human being. She still is linked to the divine. And the treatment of her and what people are saying about her online and the hatred, as I say, it's just appalling. And we live in a world whereby, again, it's hypocrisy. That's what I'm feeling. It's the hypocrisy, because we live in a world where we might be on social media and we see something linked into bullying, okay? And we think, oh yes, that's right. You know, how awful is bullying, you know, and we must stand up to all this type of stuff. And you might, you know, we might repost it. But then in the next breath, people are taking somebody such as this woman and literally hanging her out to dry. And bullying has consequences. Bullying can result in mental illness, depression, people even taking their own lives. And I just think we've got to be very, very careful as a community with regard to this whole subject. So I might do a video on it, but it will be very much to try and bring some balance and sanity back. Because that woman in our midst, Meghan Markle, as I say, whether you like her or not, she's there. She's there for a reason. She's the one that Harry chose. And she's a human being. You wouldn't believe some of the comments that I read last night on this channel. It was vile. In fact, I actually wanted to, almost to the point you need to report the channel. It was that bad. Yeah. So the energy of words, that's why I'm talking about it. These people didn't seem to realise what they were doing to a fellow human being. And the thing is, when you spew hatred like that to somebody else, whether you think it's deserved or not, it bounces back to you. Karma. It's really important that we understand that when what we do to somebody else, we're actually doing to ourselves. I don't think anybody on this channel is behaving like that at all. I'm just bringing it up because it's in our midst, and it's actually in our communities, in our spiritual communities. So the energy of words. So if all that hate is out there, we need to counteract that with some balance. So maybe that whole situation between Harry and Meghan maybe needs violet flaming as well. Bringing in Archangel Zadkiel to transmute that energy that's directed to them every single day, that's directed to that woman's baby every single day, because the baby is part of her. Some people will straight away say, there is no baby. You don't know that. So balance, the energy of words. To thine own self be true. Clean up your own backyard. That's what we're meant to be doing. Okay, just moving on, final subject. I will put this final subject on this video. I wanted just to make note of the fact that in 1985 is coming up as we're on a loop. Big time. So take a look at was going on in your life around 1985. I'm not necessarily talking astrologically here. I mean, maybe there is a correlation with astrology. I've no idea. I pick things up intuitively, okay? So I'm seeing 1985 very strongly coming through for a lot of different reasons. Two things in the news. One, on Saturday the 13th, 2 days just gone, it was the 33rd anniversary of Live Aid. 33 years ago since Live Aid, which was 1985. July the 13th, 1985 is when it happened. Interestingly, a lot of the Heart Squad were there. Freddie Mercury stole the show. He did. He did, I'm sorry, but he did. He was amazing. If you haven't watched Freddie Mercury at Live Aid, watch it. It'll lift your spirits. That's another thing. Music is hugely helpful at the moment to lift our spirits. Freddie was there. David Bowie was there. George Michael was there. Princess Diana was there. Michael Jackson wrote the We Are the World song, I believe, although I don't think he was there actually on the stage in America. In fact, he wasn't. So really interesting that a lot of these stars from the Heart Squad were there 1985, and it's 33 years ago. 33 is a master number. 33 links to the energy of Christ. The other thing that's in the news regard to 1985 at the moment is the Vatican, and there's a story of, I think it's 1 or 2 girls that went missing in 1985, and they have been digging up some of the crypts at the Vatican to try and find her, and they found some bones in the last few days. And again, that's a story to watch. Okay, the corruption, the covering up within the Catholic Church. Something's happened there, and it ain't good. One thing that's very important is, as the darkness gets unveiled in our world, make sure you don't get so into the story that you get tainted by it. Our job as light workers, again going back to that guy's comment, oh no, you shouldn't be talking about things like earthquake, don't put fear into people's mind, probably don't talk about stuff like this either, you're a light worker, just talk about something fluffy. I don't know what he meant. No, we're meant to look at this, we're meant to acknowledge it, but then we're not meant to get so deeply into it that we get covered in the sticky stuff that's coming up as well. You're meant to violet flame it, okay, so it's like, acknowledge it. Okay, got it? Send the healing, violet flame around it. Exactly the same with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff as well, because that's a story that's just going to keep unravelling layer by layer by layer. Our job as light workers is to go in to send the violet flame of transmutation around ourselves as well, so we don't pick anything up, but also around the world, around the places where it happened, around the people where it might have happened to. And also to help other people to understand it from a higher perspective. Why are these things being uncovered? Why now? But yeah, 1985 seems to be a year where it's like we're on a loop. The other thing with 1985 is, as you know, I've mentioned Africa a couple of times in my last few videos, and 33 years ago the spotlight of the world was on Africa to help to bring help in, bring support in, and it's as though once again we're coming round and we're being asked to step in and help in some way. So we'll just have to see where all that goes. I think I will do, as I say, I'm going to do the live stream on the 16th. I'll do a reading then as well, based on the energies of the day and anything that's happening. Try to just remember to breathe through this week and the run up to the eclipse. I might do another little mini reading before the 16th. We'll see how we go. I'll just see what Metatron wants me to say. Anything else to do here? Let's just spray the earth. Okay, let's just spray the earth spray. So there's still a lot of rattling and rolling going on with regard to earthquakes. I think there was one in Australia yesterday, 6.7, something like that. There have been quite a few in Indonesia. I'm hearing from those of you in Southern California there's still a lot of movement, a lot of aftershocks. So I've already spoken on that, but just keep yourself safe. Remember to invoke Archangel Michael around you, your Merkaba around you, and also just sending rainbow blessings to anybody that needs it today. Okay, going to leave this video here, get it up. Let me know what you think in terms of what I said about the astral stuff. I thought it was quite interesting. I think there's some rich learning there. and we'll see where this week takes us. Okay, much love to all. Bye bye.